Well, a judge denies post-conviction relief for this man convicted of assaulting several young boys. 69-year-old Steve Dannon filed that request earlier this year. He was convicted of multiple assault charges in 2022 and sentenced in 2023. Well, Dannon is serving the equivalent of life in prison. He's eligible for parole in roughly 80 years.
A judge keeps this Council Bluffs man in jail on a $1 million bond. He's accused of kidnapping a 12-year-old girl. 30-year-old Devin Miller allegedly spoke with the teen on Snapchat. Court documents say he admitted to having sex with her. Officers were able to find the 12-year-old after she messaged a friend saying she wanted to leave. Miller will be in court next month. Now, to keep your kids safe, Smart Gen Society breaks down ways to prevent these type of incidents. You can find that information in this story at KETV.com.
This is an issue, that it can happen just anywhere you are.
Iowa State Police investigate a false report of an active shooter. Officers say they received multiple calls. They found no credible threat. Swatting calls have been on the rise across universities. Just last week in Crete, Nebraska, Doane University went into lockdown following a threat of an active shooter. About an hour later, local law enforcement realized it was a swatting call. Authorities are now investigating where that call came from.
2 weeks into a federal takeover of law enforcement in Washington, D.C., the Trump administration has its sights set on other cities, including Chicago. But the mayor there is fighting back.
The brave men and women who signed up to serve our country did not sign up to occupy American cities. This is costly, illegal, and unconstitutional.
Mayor Brandon Johnson says the city will take legal action if troops are sent there.
Well, could Nebraska's National Guard be part of the president's deployment? Governor Jim Pillen says he has not discussed the possibility with the Guard's adjutant general.
We know what we can do, and we're trying to be great team players. And obviously, we're a state of 2 million people. We're out kicking our coverage, but we can't do everything.
Governor Pillen says 20 National Guard members have volunteered to assist and provide administrative support to ICE. Comes after his announcement of the so-called Cornhusker Clink, an immigration detention center in McCook. It'll house people awaiting deportation or those being held for other immigration proceedings. You can find our coverage right now on the KETV mobile app.
It was a somber moment in U.S. history. We're taking a look back at the destruction Hurricane Katrina caused.
Now, 20 years later, what's being done to ensure a better approach to disaster management?
Plus, we're just days away from the KC Classic, and the Husker offense feels ready to go. Lauren Michelson has that story later in sports. This week marks 20 years since Hurricane Katrina slammed into the U.S.'s Gulf Coast, including New Orleans.
The storm increased focus on flood preparedness and altered the nation's approach to disaster management.
Washington correspondent Jackie DeFusco has a look back at the lessons learned from Katrina.
Rising waters, heroic rescues,
Coast Guard in the middle of a rescue here. We have multiple families on rooftops.
and remarkable devastation.
There is no delineation between the river and this neighborhood.
This is the worst I have ever seen it.
Painful memories from Hurricane Katrina, still fresh 20 years later.
Everything that we went through, the feelings, the emotions, no, it does not feel like it's been 20 years.
2 decades since August of 2005, when Katrina struck the Gulf Coast as a Category 3 storm. It remains one of the most devastating natural disasters in United States history. More than 1,300 dead, hundreds of thousands displaced, and the damage well over $100 billion.
The world knows it wasn't just a storm, it was that these levees should have held.
The 2 children being brought into safety of the helicopter.
Levee failures around New Orleans caused catastrophic flooding, leaving nearly 80% of the city underwater. In the wake, an effort to better monitor conditions with the creation of the National Levee Database. A recent analysis of that data finds approximately 27% of FEMA-accredited levees are at moderate, high, or very high risk.
The levees may have been invested in as part of the post-disaster process in New Orleans, but there are other areas throughout the country that continue to have aging infrastructure that could cause disasters of the magnitude that we saw 20 years ago.
The levees were only part of the problem. Experts say Katrina exposed major gaps in federal disaster response.
You have a landing zone here.
And preparedness.
Really what you saw was confusion and delays.
1 year later, Congress passed a law that gave the Federal Emergency Management Agency more flexibility and clearer authority.
We actually saw in the aftermath of Katrina one of the largest reorganizations of and re-envisioning of emergency management in the United States since 9/11.
Today, FEMA finds itself at yet another crossroads as President Donald Trump works to downsize the agency.
We want to wean off of FEMA, and we want to bring it down to the state level.
But critics fear the push will reverse hard-fought reforms.
With the Trump administration's weakening of that agency and pulling back of disaster preparedness funding, it's only leaving communities vulnerable once again.
Going up now after a long wait on that rooftop.
In a statement, a FEMA spokesperson tells us, quote, Americans deserve better than the slow, unprepared, and inadequate responses of the past. They tell us that a FEMA Review Council will provide actionable recommendations for streamlining the system moving forward. Meantime, the Trump administration declined to comment on the future of funding to strengthen infrastructure like levees. FEMA announced plans earlier this year to end one key program, but that's currently tied up in court. Reporting at the White House, I'm Jackie DeFusco.
Well, it was a catastrophe and unbelievable storm that caused it.
Hey, I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
You said this is a top 11 day. Did I hear that right?
Well, I said this was the 11th best day of the year.
So
It was too windy, apparently, to be top 10.
Wow, that's rough.
He's hanging on to it, though.
It's a great day.
It's a great day.
A spectacular day. It was the money back guarantee for being
no money exchanged.
and working outside. Don't bore me with the details here. Let's look at the rain factor coming up for the day on Tuesday. It's going to be okay. It's going to be a rain factor of 6. There's a chance we get a shower in the morning. If we don't, it'll be a rain factor of 7 or 8. I mean, it looks pretty good again. Well, it's time to paint it red, baby. Yep. Thursday night. And this is 8 o'clock kickoff is late. The sun will have already set, but the weather looks good in Kansas City. 72 for the kick, 68 as we get into the second half. Little light southeast breeze, partly cloudy skies down in KC. Today, it was a great one. A high of 74 and a low of 50, but the wind was 12 to 13 miles an hour for several hours this afternoon and gusted to 19 miles an hour. And you know my rules. The wind has got to be under 10 miles an hour. What kind of person am I if I go back on my rules? They dictate my life, for goodness sakes, here. All right, no precipitation today. Here's a beautiful view from the American National Bank. That's Children's Hospital right there. Dodge here. 59, it's cooled off. North breeze at 3 miles an hour. Already 52 in Carroll, 54 in Atlantic, still 65 in Lincoln, 58 in Columbus. You see the dew points in the lower 50s. Typically the clear sky light wind, you'll drop back to that dew point, and then maybe a little bit more. And if that is the case, sometimes you get some fog. We had some patchy fog this morning. Probably not so much tonight, as while the radar is quiet, there are a few clouds over northern and northeast Nebraska. Those are the ones that computer models suggest will produce some sprinkles and showers for us. Otherwise, across the country, it's pretty quiet. No big stormy weather. There are those showers indicated by our computer model, and they kind of dry up as they get into the Omaha metro. So maybe we'll see sprinkles, but not any kind of decent rainfall. And then tomorrow night, more off into central and northern Iowa, some scattered showers. And Wednesday looks pretty good again. A few more clouds later in the day. Here's overnight storm predictor. Clear right now. The indication, again, of the clouds coming down, but the showers having a hard time reaching us because the air is so dry. So we'll see. Maybe we get some sprinkles or some light measurable rainfall, especially areas just to the north. Tonight's low 53. We've got the impact icon for that chance of showers late tonight as the skies will become partly cloudy. We're still clear. And that slight chance of a shower at 8 a.m., but pretty good by noontime and really nice in the afternoon as temperatures top out in the mid-70s. We get more sun, it could be slightly warmer. Wednesday and Thursday, we're up around 80 or the low 80s. And even at that, that's still below average. Average high, 85. Average low, 64. So these temperatures pretty tolerable. Some rain chance this weekend. There's a biggie. It's a holiday weekend, a 3-dayer for a lot of folks, but maybe Saturday, Sunday, some rain possibilities.
This will be refreshing.
Feels good tonight, yeah.
And we do appreciate your integrity, Bill.
Thank you, Rob.
Stick with your rules.
I got up. Speaking of Rule, Coach Rule handed out the newest black shirts.
Plus, the black shirts will be tested early. Matt Satili with the first coordinator's corner of the season. Next.